Hey friends, we're sitting on my porch because it's a little quieter from kids out here, and we're going to talk about chores for kids, but not the how-to, kind of the how-to. We're going to talk about kids' attitudes and chores and how we handle children's attitudes and chores. So the number one most important thing in, I have dirt on my face from digging raspberries. The most important part of children doing chores is your own attitude and your own mindset. They're smart kids. If they can figure out how to use a tablet, if they can figure out how to use a TV, they can figure out to do chores. Every time I see a kid pick up a remote, know how to use it, hey, guess what? If they can do that, they can figure out where the forks go. They can figure out how to do it. If they can figure out how to use a tablet, they can figure out how to use a washing machine. Right? It's harsh, but it's true. If you are teaching your children to do chores, because it starts with the teaching process, it's not just instantly they can do it. If you're teaching them because it's going to instantly make your life easier, you are going to be beating your head against a concrete wall. It is really important to keep the end in mind. You are teaching children to become productive adults. This takes work and this takes effort, and you need to have, like for me, I say, I'm raising someone's future spouse. I am raising productive humans. Like, it's hard, and it's all about your mindset, and it's all about you staying calm when they are freaking out that they don't want to. And that is easier said than done, and I do not always do it, but this is the number one most important thing, is your mindset, because you are controlling this ship. You are the parent, you make the decisions. Sure, they're not gonna want to. Do I want to do all the housework I have to do? No. But we're a team, and we do this together, and we all have a part. And you are the steering committee here. You and your spouse are the steering committee. So keep that in mind. You are in charge. They do not run this ship. You run this ship. So we're going to talk about different situations and how we handle them. So, a child that gets distracted and easily is off wool gathering. It's going to take repetition. What are you supposed to be doing right now? What's your job right now? How's your job doing? Have you finished your job? Don't expect what you're not willing to inspect. So if you're going to ask him to do a job and then walk off and not check it, it's probably not going to get done. Or it's not going to get done very well. Don't expect what you won't inspect. There's a lot of checking in. How's it going with your list? You see them doing something you're not supposed to do. Where are you at on your list? Do you have a list? How is your chores going? Are the dishes done? There's a lot of checking in. To the child that says no, they don't want to, or they can't. I can't do that. Okay. Are they saying they can't do that because they're just being defiant? Are they saying they can't do that because they haven't been taught how to do it? Are they saying they can't do it because maybe they're hungry or tired and it's really not a great time to be expecting them to do this? Are they saying they can't because it's out of their skill level? Like, what's their reasoning behind it? If it's because they haven't been taught, well then that's your job as a parent. You need to teach them how to do it. If they're doing it because they're wanting to be defiant, well, in our house, first there's chores and then there's fun. So it's a matter of reminding, we need to do this and then we can do that. There's a lot of first this, then that. First this, then that. hey, we're trying to get this done before lunch so that after lunch we can watch a movie. First this, then that. To the kid who doesn't like to do it the first time, who doesn't do it properly the first time, don't expect what you won't inspect. You're gonna have to remind them. You're gonna have to ask them to do it again. You're gonna have to be around. And it's not easy. It's hard work to train kids to do chores. It's not always an enjoyable process. What are you laughing at, Mac? What are you laughing about?
Oh, there's a sweater right there and it's mine.
Oh, you're excited to get to it because you're cold?
Yes.
He's trying to take the laundry off the line quick so he gets to his sweater.
One of the next ones down the line.
So if your chore system is not working for you, there is a lot of different ways. So I find it easier to block it off into chunks of like chores, free time, chores, free time. And if you have it kind of time blocked, like you need to get this done before noon. This morning, Mac boogied and he got his chores done by 10. He had free time for 2 hours while the other kids still had a whole other hour of working because they were a lot slower. Please don't shake the camera. And they didn't want to just get it done. They would go outside and then come back in. Oh, I didn't do it. And okay, go back out. Pick your weeds. Show me the weeds when you've done them. Some days kids are gonna be more motivated and sometimes they're not. Sometimes I'm more motivated, sometimes I'm not. We recently had to do a revamping of chores, and how I know that we need a revamping of chores is if my kids are spending a lot of time getting into trouble. They have too much free time on their hands. Yes, I expect my children to work. This is life, children. You have to do jobs. If they are bickering with each other, if they are spending a lot of time dogging my heels, I'm bored, I'm hungry, you got to do more chores. There is comfort in routine, and there is comfort in expectations. And I say this because instead of wondering if they can go play or trying to sneak away to go play, if they know first do X, Y, then Z, you can go play. Mosquitoes already. It's helpful for them. It's helpful for us. So it's part of the process of being a parent. And if you're hesitant to get your kids to do messes, to help out because they make a mess when they help out, well, did they not make a mess when they're doing other things? My kids make messes all day long, whether they're helping me or not. So their messes might as well be helping me. And you know what? If they make messes, they can help clean up messes. I do not make all this mess. I do not eat all this food. Therefore, I do not need to clean up all this food. I do not need to make all this food. I do not need to clean up this mess. I put my shoes in the same spot every time. Why should I have to clean up the shoes? It's not a martyr attitude. It's not a bitter mother attitude. It's simply, hi Freya. It's simply the realities of we are a family of 6 living on a farm. If I have to do everything, we can't do all this. We can't have what we have if Marius and I have to do it all. It just doesn't work. Our family can't function like that. And I just strongly encourage you to get your kids doing more chores because it's going to help you. It's going to be harder to start off with, and I say that over and over again, but it's true. The chore training process is hard. But then the payoff is there. And I see the payoff already. And we're, working on to training more chores. And you know, this winter, because we know we can trust Mac with raising animals, he raised pigs that he gets to sell one and keep all the profit. And that's going to be a lot of money for him. And that's really neat. And I'm excited that he's motivated to do that. And he wants to do more pigs again. Oh, you found a grater. Is Henry's grater? Probably, yeah. And you have to, you know, it's a good, if you're into investing, it's a good ROI. It's a good return on investment. You're going to put in time, but you're going to get back a whole lot. It's Hank's? Okay. Hey, Freya, have you finished your chores? I don't want a piece of pretend cookie, no. Could you go line up the shoes, please? That's your job. Hey, Freya. I know, it looks very real. Freya, what's your job? Thank you for going and doing the shoes. And are we just into ramble now? Not sure. Now, my oldest kid is only just about 11. Maybe you've got teenagers and you're like, Kate, you don't even know what defiant is yet. You don't even know. But I do know that the expectations are clear. With great privilege comes great responsibility. Mac wanted to use the quad this morning, ATV, four-wheeler, to do the animal chores. Sure, but you have to feed my cows too. You want to get to use that thing that makes it easier? You can feed my cows for me too. Okay, deal. He was happy with that. Freya wanted to be able to go ride on the quad with him. Have you finished putting away the dishes, Freya? No, she had not finished putting away the dishes. I'm sorry, Freya. You need to go finish the dishes. Tomorrow, why don't you finish them? If you finish them faster, you can go for a ride on the quad with Mac while he does the chores. She was ticked about it to start off with, but this is the expectation. This is the follow-through. Tomorrow, when Mac is getting ready to go do, when Mac is heading to go outside, hey, Freya, finish up the dishes quick so that you can go for a ride. And she knows. And recently my kids were complaining a lot about breakfast and lunch, and I said, you know what, I'm not making breakfast and lunch anymore. You guys are doing it. Because there is some entitlement going on here, and I'm not really down with it, and I'm getting kind of burnt out on this, making it, and you're not happy with it, and you want something different, and I'm not a restaurant, and you know what? You guys can do it. So now, they are making breakfast and lunch, and it still takes me going, hey, what are you making for lunch? Hey, make sure you load the dishwasher after lunch. Hey, let's get going on breakfast. It still takes that right now. But with consistency, we'll get to the point where I'll go, Hamish, it's your breakfast day. And he can go and he can make a pot of oatmeal or he can make everybody toast. And knowing that we can get to that point makes it worth it at this point when I still have to, someone slammed a door. When I still have to scaffold them. If a kid needs help when they're working, it's not enabling them. You're scaffolding them. You're giving them support to reach success. It's not, you have to think of the scaffolding in mind. If that makes sense, like think of scaffolding is there for support and to help you achieve a job. It's not cheating to help them with their chores if they are still working hard at it and you're helping them to finish so that they finish and get the satisfaction of finishing. Does that make sense? Because now they've done and now they've seen they can complete it, and next time it will be a bit easier for them. So don't be afraid to scaffold them. Hamish just went to feed the chickens.
Okay.
They're running around doing their afternoon chores right now. The baby is sleeping, so I came outside to do this quick. So, do I expect my children to finish their whole list every day? And to what extent do I expect it to be done? Like, if they're vacuuming the main floor, how good of a vacuum do I expect? Roughly, I expect Mac to do a 70. Mac is 10, just about 11. I expect him to do a 75% job of what I would do when it comes to cleaning the bathroom, cleaning, vacuuming the living room, mopping, that sort of thing. 75%. I expect Hamish, who is 7, to do about 50% of what I would do. He's putting in a good effort. He's working on it. He's still figuring out technique and how to do it well. But the point is that he is doing it. And you can slowly try to not nag, and this is really hard, but you can be like, hey, make sure you get the corners when you vacuum the kitchen today. Just little reminders like that. Freya, goodness, she's 4.5. Her jobs are very simple. She's just venturing into a little harder jobs. I expect her to be able to pick up things. We have a laundry bucket in our dining room, kitchen. Where is it? In our kitchen we have it. Oh, the squirrel is up already.
Sam never did the living room.
Okay, Mac, he's feeding the chickens right now.
Oh, he said he already did it.
Okay, well, he's feeding the chickens and then we'll get him to finish.
And he never.
Do I expect my children to finish their whole list every day? Personally, I don't finish my whole list every day. I try, but things come up. So, or someone stops by, or we end up going to visit my sister or something. So sometimes maybe in the afternoon we had planned to clean the basement up. But we ended up going to my sister's instead, and we get home at 4. Realistically, at 4, we do not have time to clean the basement. We need to roll into just doing a quick house tidy. And, pardon me? Yep. We need to roll into a quick house tidy and doing the animals. So that is, you have to know what your bare minimum is. And for us, that means that at the end of every day, before animals and dinner time, we tidy up the house. Whether it gets vacuumed every day, no. But it gets picked up. Put stuff away. This gets done, then they do the animals, or the other way around. And when they have done the pickup, kids keep slamming doors. When they have picked up, and when the animals have been fed, they can watch a movie until Marius gets home. And they can watch a whole movie in that time, if they do their chores when I ask. And because that expectation has been there for years, it's not an argument. Can I watch a show? Yes. After you've finished doing the animals, you can watch a show. Being able to say yes and not just no, no, no. Can I watch a show? No, no, no. I'm tired of saying no. I say no all the time. Instead, look for opportunities to say yes. Can I watch a show? Yes. After you have finished vacuuming, you can watch a show. Can I watch a show? Yes. After you have fed the animals. And where we live, luckily, like all my kids' friends live on farms. There's a massive mosquito. All my kids' friends live on farms. Oh, you're all my kids' friends live on farms. They also have animals to take care of. They also have to help out and work. And that's the norm. And sometimes when they will be frustrated about the amount of chores they have to do, then you remind them at the freedom they do have. Like my kids are homeschooled. In the morning they do animals, and then they do breakfast, or the other way around. Then we do schoolwork, then we maybe do a couple chores, and then they have free time until lunch. After lunch, we do some chores, then they can have free time till dinner. They are not worked all day, every day. But there's still a significant expectation because our family can't raise this much food we can't grow this many things without everybody pitching in. And it's a team effort. And we have to remind them that we are a team. So that was a really long ramble. But I have a lot to say about kids and chores because I feel really strongly about kids doing chores. Oh yeah, you sure about that? Because if my kids aren't doing chores, my kids have too much free time on their hands and they get into way too much mischief. Idle hands are the devil's work. My kids need things to keep their hands busy. And that means that I could be keeping them busy with like crafts and activities and toys and games and screens and tablets. Or they can work. And maybe that sounds a little harsh, but my kids still have lots of free time. They still have lots of time to do all sorts of things, but we also work. And that works for us.